naked. I'm naked. I'm naked and not ashamed.
Oh God.
I'm naked. Oh yeah. I'm naked. I'm naked and not ashamed.
Welcome to the Naked and Not Ashamed with your host, Lateka Carter.
And not ashamed.
Welcome to the show. We're here with an array of guests here, teens and our expert panel. I'm your host, Lateka Carter. Another episode of Naked and Not Ashamed. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, this is not like all the other shows we've been doing. You're right. This is something that we're doing from our hearts, and we want to bring the teens into it so you can hear their own voices. We want their voices to be heard. We want them to speak up because we as parents, we don't know it all. And we need to get it from them because they are our future. So I'm going to go ahead and start here and let my guest introduce herself.
I'm Kaylin. I'm Jessica.
I'm Jamal.
I'm LeJay. I'm Therese.
I'm Jawan.
I'm Lindsay. I'm Kiara.
I'm Sandra Jones.
Brian McNeil. I'm Jerry Jones.
All right, so you have it. Did you get those names? I didn't, I'm sorry. But we are here, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about some serious issues going on, but we have questions for our teens already. The first question that I have for you ladies and gentlemen, how do you feel sitting here knowing that you're on a show called Naked and Not Ashamed with a teen summit as the discussion? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Awesome.
Okay, to be here, I'm a little anxious because, like, I don't know what to expect, and I'm a little indecisive because I don't know what answers I want to give or whatever, but I'm open and ready to talk about issues in our teen community.
That's awesome. Anyone else? Everybody know? Yeah. See, I love it already. Go ahead.
I feel good.
Really good. I thought she was going to start singing that song. I feel
Okay. I got clothes on.
Good answer. All right. Anyone else? Okay.
So, yes, I'm on the panel, but I'm nervous because my mother is 2 seats. We'll see how this goes.
We'll see how this goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, are you ready? Let's dig in. First question, other than that one question. What do you find most challenging with school? Who wants to answer that question? Okay, awesome.
Challenging for me is study. I don't like to study. No.
Okay, so if you don't like to study, what do you feel helps you to get you to that point where you say, okay, let me focus and really study? Because you know when you have those tests coming up, you have to do something. So what have you started trying to do to get you to that place? Or do you need help with getting you focused to start studying? Tutoring? Okay. Now, have you reached out to anyone to talk about tutoring? Or is this new? It's new. Okay. All right. So, next question I have for you is, are you going to reach out to someone? You are? So you feel comfortable doing that, reaching out to your parents or even to the teachers? Okay. Now, another question that just came to me. She said that she has, problems studying. Do you all feel comfortable in school going to your teachers? Asking them questions?
Yes.
That is good because a lot of kids don't feel comfortable going to their teachers. They have certain things that they say, am I right? Do you all that deal with teenagers?
How to get past that, not liking study. Okay, because you like the good grade. Do you like a good grade?
Yes.
All right. I think a lot of times when folks have challenges with a part of the process to getting a good grade is they're focusing on the part instead of the result. If you focus on what you want to have happen, instead of focusing on the drudgery of study, it's easier to get past the study. Whatever I have to do to get a good grade is the focus. I want a good grade, right? I want to get a great grade on this test. So how do I get a good grade? Almost the stuff that you have to do before you get the great grade matters little. What matters is the great grade that I want to get. So if I really want a great grade, the stuff I have to do is just a part of the process. I don't even care for what kind of, if it takes me 10 hours to study, it doesn't matter because I don't want to study. I want a great grade. Does that make any sense? Focus on what you want instead of the process to getting it. You know, begin with the end in mind, if you would.
Okay. Anyone else want to answer that question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Well, we have like this saying. Well, I've noticed like teens, they say it's not about actually knowing things in school now. It's about just passing. So like, I feel like that's the biggest issue. It's like being focused and actually wanting to be eager to learn while you're still focused on trying to pass.
Okay. Now, Sandra, do you have anything you want to say on that? Because you deal with those issues.
I was wondering, are you talking about passing those end of grade tests, or are you saying that there is a mentality of just doing enough to pass?
Yeah, like I feel like people, like teens, just want to be average. Like C is okay, or you know, they just don't really care anymore. It's like nonchalant, and it's just that's the main problem, and it just kills like the environment for all the other students.
Sure,
Yeah.
And I think that's very challenging right now in today's society, particularly because there's so much in the media that promotes being mediocre as opposed to being excellent.
Yes.
And we come from a history of people who understood that education was freedom.
Yes.
See, we had freedom tied into our education and our end result, you know, knowing that we wanted as a people to be free. And so many times now we don't even, young people don't have the benefit of learning the history. When I was growing up, I experienced a lot of the history that you all read about. And sometimes you don't read about segregation, all of that. I remember all of that. But we knew that education was tied into our success. No one can put chains on your mind, you know, if you know that that is the key to your freedom. And so now it seems that a certain amount of mediocrity is promoted. So that's by design, and I said, think about that. Yeah. That's by design.
Definitely, I agree with that. Even when it comes to the teens out there that want to be mediocre, we are unique individuals. None of us have the same fingerprints. We are different. So we have to think in our minds that, just like what Brian was saying, excellent, what she was saying was excellent, and Brian said great grade, but great life. What do you want out of your life? You can't look at the other person. You have to focus on you, because when you graduate, that's where it's really going to matter. When you graduate, what you start doing with your life, as it already matters, but it's really going to matter more. So just focusing in on those things about you. Where do you see yourself being? What do you see yourself wanting to do, and not want to fit in with everyone else that is mediocre?
I'm so glad you said that.
Me too.
Because I believe there is, I think it starts even earlier than high school, where they just encourage you to do just enough to pass. I think it's just systematic in the schools right now. My children that are in school and come to school, they really just want to pass their class. You know, so how do we get that? I think it's a matter of motivation, personal motivation, really. Because they almost reward you for just passing, you know. But it does create a pattern for your life. You know, like Lateka was talking about, you want an outstanding life.
Yes, you
To get an outstanding life, you have to be an outstanding person. Okay? Become an outstanding person is based upon your habits. Now, first off, I already know every single one of you guys on this panel here are champions, because you all could have chosen to be someplace else today, and you didn't. You chose to come in here today and sit down and make yourselves available to be naked and not ashamed. So I have to personally applaud all you guys, because I know all of you guys are well on the way to being champions because of what you're willing to do.
Yes.
And so much of the time, you know, just the habits you set for yourself, the patterns you set for yourself, it doesn't matter what the school wants you to do. What matters is what kind of quality, what kind of person you are. They want you to get a C to pass, but you're not a C person.
That's right.
Okay, you're an A person, and act like it.
I applaud you for bringing that up too, because I'm sure you represent so many other teenagers who are not comfortable with that low expectation. You know that you are greater than that low expectation, but all around you, people have this just pass, just make it out, just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And what you're saying is that's not even comfortable because that's not you. And I think that even the challenge of study, I think some of it is an influence. The reason I think that probably it was the first thing you said is because that's a place you're not comfortable. Because you know who you are. Mm-hmm. You know the greatness that's in you. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes I know it. I don't just think it. I've been in the workplace where I have seen that the expectation for particularly our race is low. Mm-hmm. And I have been in a position where the expectation of me was low. And I have had experiences where I was affected by that low expectation because I didn't recognize that it really had an impression upon me. And I lived down to that low expectation, and I thank God that there were other people around me who said, wait a minute, girlfriend. Yeah. Like Miss Lateka is doing here today on this summit for young people.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to another question is, do you feel comfortable expressing yourself with your parents or those who have custodian over you? Anyone want to answer that question? Yes.
Okay. I can say I'm comfortable with my parents because they understand who I am. Like they know, I let them know if I don't like something or if I feel some type of way about something. I can let them know and they understand. I mean, we might not agree on everything, but we got a mutual agreement on most things.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much comfortable.
Now, has it always been like that in your teenage years, or did you have to work to get towards that?
Yeah, I pretty much had to work towards it though, because, like, I don't know, they used to treat me like a baby until I was like 16. So I had to let them know, like, I'm older now, like, I'm not going to do everything you want me to do. Like, I made my own decisions and go my own way.
Well, that's good for you, because a lot of people don't have it like that at all. That is awesome. Now, exactly. Ladies, anyone wants to answer that question?
Well, I'm comfortable with my mother because she's like my best friend. I go to her to talk about everything. She leaves the door open, and like when it's a really tough situation with friends or anything like that, I can like say to her, "Can you just be my friend right now?" She'll understand it. I just need a friend instead of like somebody to like be all hard on me.
That's awesome. Now, how old are you?
17.
You're 17. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, same question I asked him. Has it always been like that, or did you have to work towards that?
It's always been like that because she wanted me to be able to come to her and she'd be able to be involved, like really deeply involved in life.
Okay. So do you have other friends who don't have that luxury?
Some of them don't.
So do you have any pointers for people who don't have that luxury? What you feel they could do to be able to have a communication, a door open for their parents?
I just think they should talk to their parents and let them know that sometimes being strict on them isn't always the right answer, and sometimes you just want somebody to listen to you and understand you and be there and comfort you.
That's good stuff. Either one of you have anything to say to that?
Sure, I'll speak.
All right.
I think me and my mom have a really, really good relationship, especially now. But I will say, like, growing up in a single parent home, like my mother was both mother and father. Mm-hmm. So it put extra stress on her to kind of be a little bit more stern because she wanted to make sure like I didn't miss out on anything because my father wasn't around or didn't live in the same city with him. Mm-hmm. So of course growing up, naturally, you're trying to prove that you're a man, you can do things on your own, you're kind of like independent. But like when you still live under the roof of someone else, you're not that grown. But and then at the same time, like I didn't pay rent. You're right. So, but I had friends that kind of didn't really have curfews, who kind of do whatever they want, go as they please. And so for me, I felt like well, you can trust me, so why can't I like stay out till 3? But like I didn't understand at the time that was my mother's way of like, listen, I need to know that you're safe at a certain time because she had been through experiences. And she's seen friends pass away before their time just because of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and so she didn't want that to happen to me. And so I couldn't understand it at the time, but as I grew older and I've seen some of those friends kind of go down the wrong path, and I've kind of seen those little things where if I was with them, I could have been in that situation. just by chance. And then I kind of learned to respect and understand that it's not necessarily she was strict, it was that she had wisdom that I couldn't comprehend because I was trying to prove something to myself. You know, so throughout time, you know, once I could afford my own rent and a car, you know, I was like, well, Mom, let me tell you how I felt. And I was like,
that's what you want to do.
But I will say this, after I fully opened up and talked to my mom, that's when we got that relationship
and
where it was open and I felt comfortable sharing things. And so in retrospect, I wish I had at least tried more in high school rather than just trying to prove that I'm grown. Like 16.
Right. That's a good point right there that you made. And we're going to stop. We will be right back to finish this conversation.
Triad, get ready for the most entertaining day-long event of 2014 as Anointed Vessels for Christ Outreach presents the 7th Annual Greensboro Health, Beauty, and Business Expo, May 31st from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Meridian Convention and Event Center at 312 West Meadowview Road, Greensboro, North Carolina. Guest appearances by Tony Grant from Tyler Perry's Love Thy Neighbor, Justin the Beloved, Keisha McCain, and Brandon Green. This expo also features a comedy show, gospel artist showcase, door prizes, health screening, live entertainment, DJ, free sampling, face painting, and more. Tickets for adults start at $15 in advance and $20 at the door. Children under 9 are $5 and VIP tickets are just $30. For more information, call 336-907-7245 or purchase tickets online at www.greensborohealthexpo.com. All proceeds are in aid of scholarship programs and school supply giveaways. We'll see you there. You don't want to miss it.
Hi, my name is Graylin Brown here at Challenge Florist and Coffee House, where we have many floral designs to fit your floral needs. We also provide coffees for many different countries, such as Tanzania, Ugandan, Walla Walla, and our very own House Blend. Come see us at 709 East Market Street, Greensboro, North Carolina. Family owned and operated. Thank you.
Welcome back to Naked and Not Ashamed with this special episode, Teen Parent Summit. We are here with the panel of the teens. Say what's up, everybody. What's up? Hey, what's up? What's up? All right, and we also have our expert panel here. Let's give it up. Let's give it up for all of y'all. Y'all rock. Yes. I'm feeling good about this episode, some good information. And we were talking about something while we went to break. Y'all missed that, but we're going to bring it back. Brian, tell us what you were talking about. Your mama did what?
I was going to say, when I was 15 years old, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And when I was 15, I was sure that I was the smartest person in my house. By the time I was 16, I was certain that I knew more than my parents did. Because we had things that they didn't have when they were growing up. We had more information. I just knew I knew how the world worked better than they did. Now, since that time, every 5 years of my life, I realized I didn't know anything 5 years previously, because we get smarter. I'm wondering, I want to ask you guys, because you do have things that you know your parents didn't have, are any of you guys feeling like you may know more than your parents did, or you know how the world works at this age?
I would say no, because they're older, so they've experienced more, so they have more wisdom than us.
Okay.
All right, so even with what Brian said, to piggyback off of that, we're talking about even in this day and time, this is an electronical age. And when you start talking about the electronics aspect of things, we don't know what you all know when it comes to that. Because like I said, I'm going to turn 40, and I wasn't in that era where they were teaching stuff on laptops,
right?
And all that stuff in school. So I had to learn how to Windows. I had to learn Windows when I was in my 20s. But what I feel that you're saying too was, do you feel like you know more, especially when it comes to school, when you're doing your work and when you're having to do things? Do you feel like, yeah, I know more than my parents do in that component of things?
Most definitely.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So when it comes to stuff like that, how does it feel to have to tell your parents something that they really don't know, and you trying to explain to them, Mom, I got this. You're not listening to me. How does that make you feel to have to say it like that?
It's frustrating because like you constantly have to repeat. It's like, okay, you're not getting it, so it's like just you have to sit down for a minute, let me get it together so I can help you out again.
Again. Okay, ladies.
I feel like I do know more things than my parents. Like sometimes, like if it comes to like school or something, because my mom tells me, because like I'm in an early like college type thing, and my mom said that she didn't have like opportunities and stuff like that. So like the work is harder, and if it's with technology, of course, more advanced than my mom was. Right. Yeah.
You had something you want to say?
She took it.
She took it. Oh, okay. All right. So that was a good point, what you brought up. And thank you all for saying that. So the next question I want to bring to the table is, now we just talked about electronics and everything since he brought that up. How do you feel? Well, first, do you have parents that are at that level say, what are you doing? Who are you texting? Who are you calling? Who are you hanging out with? What are you watching on the internet? Do you have parents like that?
No.
Yes. Grandparents are like
yeah, but it's not in that type of form. It's just like, who are you talking to? Or where you going? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not strict and stern, but it's like she's concerned. She wants to know. It's not just like, oh, I'm about to leave and I don't have to tell her.
It sounds like most of you guys said no to that question.
Yeah.
Except for grandparents. Grandparents are the ones.
What if your parents wanted to know and see who you were texting and what you were watching?
Yeah. What webcam you using to show what?
Yeah.
I would hand her the phone.
You would hand her the phone?
Here you go.
Okay. All y'all would, huh?
Yeah.
Transparent relationship.
Okay, well here's my question as an expert panelist.
Thank
How
you.
many of y'all's Facebook profiles changed once your parents got a Facebook profile?
Good answer.
Because when Facebook first came out, it was like strictly for
Kids,
like younger people, mainly for college students. You had to have a college email address to log into Facebook. But now it's open to everybody. And so, like, you know, when it was just for college students, it was like, you know, you can kind of post whatever you wanted. Nothing crazy. I mean, you could if you wanted to. But it was mainly like, you know, everybody was watching a certain show on TV. We all, you know, y'all seen the timeline. The scandal comes on. You can't get on Facebook if you ain't watched it. Well, like, I mean, you know, it was one of those things where now, with more people who are involved, you have more eyes watching.
Yes.
Like, now, you know, like, when a job hires a person, the first thing they do is go to their Facebook profile.
Yes.
Everything that you log on Facebook is stored on general record. Mm-hmm. So, at any point in time, nothing is deleted off of Facebook.
Even
whatever
if you
post,
delete it.
even if you delete it, it's still on record because it's now property of Facebook. So with that, my mom got a Facebook profile, and she would look. I didn't want her. I was like, I'm not gonna friend my mom.
That's the problem that I had with my kids.
Like, you know, listen, Facebook ain't cool no more. You know, my mom doesn't. But what I learned is like, you know, I might post something where it'd be 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been working, like doing homework all the time, you know, like the whole day, and somebody might have really said something that bothered me or frustrated me. And so you throw them subliminal messages out there, like, I can't stand when people just don't understand. And so my mom will call me up too, like, hey, you can't post emotional things on Facebook because you have no idea who's watching, how they'll interpret it. Yeah. And also, you don't want people in your business. Right. Now, at first I was like, listen, this is why I didn't want to accept your friend. But then I really understood, like, this is real, like, this is for real. I know we all have those friends where you read on their Facebook timeline, I was like, dang, here they go again. They ain't never happened. So one of the things, like, my Facebook has changed where it's more positive. It's more like, you always want to portray your best self on social media. And then two, there's a study that came out that said our generation, like if you're in your 20s when Facebook started and social media really took off, they said like we are the generations that from this point on, due to social media, we'll always have some self-incriminating, scandalous something that if we ever wanted to run for a position in politics or something, somebody could find and use it in a negative way, even if the intent wasn't negative. So like once I realized that, I'm like, you know what, this social media thing is, you gotta back off because honestly, you're documenting your whole life for the whole world to see, and you're gonna change. You ain't gonna be with the person that you was with, you know, when you was in high school. You might think that you love forever, but you know things change. You know, so also remember all those things. And when you send in photos and pictures and videos, that doesn't get deleted off of their phone when you send it. So y'all gotta remember that too, because social media is a trap sometimes. You know. And I do thank my mom for being a little old school and like, listen, you know, we might need to tone down a little bit. But I do appreciate it. Now.
All right, so with you all, how do you all feel about that? Do you have the ones that come and inspect the gadget? You know, you all know what Inspect the Gadget is, that old cartoon. Do you all have anything that you all deal with that?
My mom, she has her own profiles of stuff, and she just looks on mine. And at first, like with Facebook, being younger, thinking I was like wrong or whatever, I would block her from certain stuff on Facebook, so she could still see stuff, but certain stuff she just couldn't see, so she was thinking it was that or whatever. But like now, I don't care what she sees. My page, Facebook, I only use it like stay in contact with my family. And I don't mind my mom correcting me about stuff because it's like she always says like you never know what job is looking and stuff like that.
All right. So do you all have friends that have, I'm sure you do, that fussed about, oh, my mom just saw I did this, or my dad saw this, or somebody saw this? You all have friends like that? All right.
I'm that friend.
Oh, you were that friend. Okay, explain to us.
Because my Twitter, and somehow my mom finds out how to see it.
Oh,
and so she just looks at it, and then like, if she doesn't like something I say, she'll ask me about it, kind of out the way. And so I kind of try to go around the question.
So how does that make you feel though, when it comes to the privacy? Do you think parents have the right to give you certain parts of privacy, or should they just let you be, especially when you're a certain age?
I mean, they have the right to give us certain parts of privacy because we still live under the house, like under the roof. So like, we can't do everything we want to. They can look still, but I mean, it just depends on the parent.
So how does it make you feel when she does look?
I don't like it. I really don't.
And why don't you like it?
Because it's just like, okay, I know a lot of people will see, but it's not like, I'm not trying to be offensive, but she takes it that way, so.
Oh, okay.
I have a lady who discovered that her 16-year-old son smokes weed because of a Facebook post, okay? He was talking about he was aggravated with everything, but he fired up, or whatever term he used. Now he's feeling better. He posted that on Facebook. And his mother, you know, she reached out to the men's group, and this is what my son posted. Now, in that case, I'm all for the parent discovering something like that about the child. Now, that boy did not want his mother to know that. He thought she would find out. He thought only his boys or his friends would see that. But that's a place where, going back to what Brother said here, man, you gotta be careful what you post out there. And I'm cool with the child not liking it, really, you know, because we gotta be parents. So
yeah,
we gotta take care of you.
That's the time.
I saw your face smile up when I said that I'm cool with them not liking it. I know you don't want to like it. You don't like it when they do that. But please believe it's because they love you and want to protect you.
Triad, get ready for the most entertaining day-long event of 2014 as Anointed Vessels for Christ Outreach presents the 7th Annual Greensboro Health, Beauty, and Business Expo, May 31st from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Meridian Convention and Event Center at 312 West Meadowview Road, Greensboro, North Carolina. Guest appearances by Tony Grant from Tyler Perry's Love Thy Neighbor, Justin the Beloved, Keisha McCain, and Brandon Green. This expo also features a comedy show, gospel artist showcase, door prizes, health screening, live entertainment, DJ, free sampling, face painting, and more. Tickets for adults start at $15 in advance and $20 at the door. Children under 9 are $5 and VIP tickets are just $30. For more information, call 336-907-7245 or purchase tickets online at www.greensborohealthexpo.com. All proceeds are in aid of scholarship programs and school supply giveaways. We'll see you there. You don't want to miss it.
Hi, my name is Graylin Brown here at Challenge Florist and Coffee House, where we have many floral designs to fit your floral needs. We also provide coffees for many different countries, such as Tanzania, Ugandan, Walla Walla, and our very own House Blend. Come see us at 709 East Market Street, Greensboro, North Carolina. Family owned and operated. Thank you.
Now we're here with a special guest by the name of Sandra Jones. She's going to sing a cappella a song for you. Hope you enjoy it because it is a blessing to you. Take it away, Sandra.
There's godlike and warlike and sad like only some show, and there are bad like and mad like and had like we know, but by my life be I spirit, and by my heart be I woman, and by my eyes be I open, and by my hands be I whole. You young ones, you're the next ones, and I hope you choose it well, though you try hard. Oh, please don't fall prey to the jaded jewel, and by your lives be you spirit. Oh, and by your hearts be you women and great men, and by your eyes be you open, with your hands in God's hand. You are